Have you ever felt like the biggest battle you fight is the one inside your own head? Well, today we're diving into some incredibly powerful ancient wisdom that has a radical take on this. What if the secret to inner peace isn't about changing the world outside, but about finally understanding the world inside? Let's get into it. So, here's where we're headed on this journey. First up, we're going to meet the powerful and sometimes chaotic CEO running our inner world, the mind. Then, we'll ask a pretty wild question. Are we actually living in a dream? From there, we'll zero in on our true self, figure out the path to a real, lasting peace, and finally, learn how to break free from the stuff that holds us back. All right, let's start at the beginning with the one thing that directs our entire lives, for better or for worse, our own mind. And this right here is a struggle that I think every single one of us can relate to. Seriously, why is the hardest thing in the world to control our own train of thought? Well, think about it for a second. You can't see your mind, you can't touch it, a surgeon can't point to it on a scan. And that's because it's not a physical object at all. It's just this constant, relentless flow of thoughts. And how do you grab hold of a river? That's what makes it so darn elusive. Here's a fantastic way to picture this. Imagine your mind is the head of a department in an office, and your senses, your sight, hearing, touch, and so on, they're the staff. Now, if the HOD is disciplined, focused, and on point, the whole office runs like a well-oiled machine, right? But what happens if the HOD is all over the place, totally unfocused? The staff goes wild and you get complete chaos. The insight here is huge. If you want to control your senses, you've got to start by disciplining your mind first. But, the rabbit hole goes even deeper. It's not just about having an unruly mind. Now we have to start questioning the very reality our mind is showing us. And this is where we run into a massive concept in Vedantic philosophy called Maya. The best way to think of Maya is like a cosmic magic trick. It's this grand illusion that totally flips reality on its head, making things that aren't real seem solid and true, while hiding what's actually real from us. And this happens to us all the time. You know that feeling when you walk into a dark room and see a rope on the floor? For one terrifying second, your mind screams, "Snake." The fear you feel is totally real, even though the snake isn't. Or think about a dream. While you're dreaming, it feels 100% real. It's only when you wake up that the illusion falls apart. Well, this wisdom says our waking life is packed with these ropes that our mind keeps mistaking for snakes. We all know these first three states of consciousness, right? You've got Jagrat, the waking state, where your mind and senses are both fired up. Then there's Swapna, the dream state. Your senses are offline, but your mind is busy creating entire worlds. And of course, Sushupti, that deep, dreamless sleep where everything powers down. But this philosophy points to a fourth state, Turiya. It's the silent, unchanging awareness that's just watching the other three. This, they say, is our true nature. Okay, so if our normal waking life is tangled up in this illusion, if it's kind of like a dream, then what in the world is actually real? Let's figure that out. The answer, we're told, is the Atma, or what we can call the true self. Now, this is not your personality, it's not your job, it's not your memories. It's the silent witness behind all of that. It's the pure, unchanging consciousness that's completely untouched by all the drama of your life. The ups, the downs, the chaos, it all just passes by in front of it. I absolutely love this analogy. A lotus leaf can sit in the water all day long, but it never, ever gets wet. The water just beads up and rolls right off. In exactly the same way, our true self exists in the world, but it remains completely unaffected by all its joys and sorrows. It's just naturally pure and detached. And this whole journey is building up to one massive realization, which is captured in this one powerful phrase, Aham Brahmasmi. It means I am Brahman, or my true self is one with the ultimate reality. It's this incredible moment of recognition that the silent witness inside of you isn't separate from anything, but is actually a part of the universal consciousness itself. That sounds pretty amazing, right? But how do we actually get there? How do we close the gap between our noisy, everyday mind and this peaceful, eternal self? This old story lays out the path perfectly. So there's this man who spends his whole life chasing money, thinking it's the key to security and happiness. But the richer he gets, the more fear and loneliness he feels. The huge turning point for him isn't when he gets more money. It's when he finally realizes how pointless his attachment to it is. And in that moment of letting go, he finds the very peace he was desperately searching for all along. The lesson is crystal clear. Detachment is the key. And the actual tool, the core practice for building the skill of detachment, has a name: Mano Nigraha. It literally means mind control. Now, this isn't about forcing your mind to be empty, it's about mastering it. And get this skill is considered the absolute highest and most important form of yoga. It's the foundation for this entire inner journey. All right, it's time for the final piece of the puzzle. If we really want to break free, we need to understand the engine that seems to bind us to our circumstances. And that engine is karma. Now, we're not talking about some vague idea of cosmic payback. We're getting really specific here, looking at what's called prarabdha karma. This is the slice of all your past actions that has ripened and is now showing up as the events and situations of your life right now. The good, the bad, all of it. Understanding these three types is just incredibly empowering. Think of it this way. Sanchita is like the entire warehouse full of grain you've ever harvested in your life. Prarabdha is the small bag of that grain you've taken out to eat today. And agama is the brand new seed you are planting in the field right now for future harvests. You see how powerful this is? It lets you accept your present situation with peace, it's just old grain, while knowing you have the power to plant better seeds for your future. And once you really get this, your whole perspective just flips. It's summed up so perfectly in this quote. When you understand how karma works, you stop blaming other people or outside events for how you feel. You realize they're just the delivery drivers bringing you the package of your own prarabdha karma. So what does this all boil down to? It's this. The world outside of you is not the source of your feelings. The one and only true source of every bit of joy and every bit of sorrow you will ever experience is your own mind and how it chooses to react. The second you take full ownership of that, you reclaim all of your power. And that's where we're going to leave it for today. This ancient wisdom isn't just about explaining the world. It's about handing you the keys to your own inner kingdom. So if your mind truly is the source of all your joy and all your sorrow, the only question that matters is, what are you going to create with it?